Okay, we're going to be making mac and cheese, and with the mac and cheese, we're going to be putting broccoli in it. Okay, so we have broccoli here. It's been cut, and you don't put it in raw. So when you're doing it in a pasta, whether it's an Alfredo or a mac and cheese, whatever it is, you blanch it. And blanching means it's partially cooked, but not all the way. So you cut it like we have here, and then you got to bring it into boiling water. So the water's boiling and I'm going to put it in, but I'm going to blanch it so it's not going to be in there very long, a couple minutes, and then we're going to take it out. So I'm going to put this all into the water's got to be boiling like it is now. We're going to keep it in there. I'll get a spoon and just give it a quick little stir. Make sure it's in the water. And then we're going to come back and we'll check it in 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so we had the broccoli in the water for 3 minutes. That's it. Then you just put it in a colander and you chill it off as quickly as possible. And you keep it nice and green, and then I'll show you how we're gonna end up putting this in our mac and cheese. All right, so we're gonna make roux. We're gonna be making mac and cheese, and we're gonna be making something called the bechamel sauce or a white sauce, okay? Which is a mother sauce, which we're gonna go over in class. So first of all, you melt the butter. And you're going to take it, it's melted like that, and go ahead and add the flour, right? Really simple. And then you just mix it, all right? And keep it on low, and you're just going to mix it till it all kind of comes together. Really simple. Just kind of move it, it's on low, it's all coming together nice. There we go. It's equal parts, so this is, I think it was 2 ounces of, so basically it was 2 ounces of butter. And I have 2 ounces of flour, and you mix them up together. And there you go. I'm just going to cook this now on low. So I'm going to cook this on low for maybe 1 more minute, and then we're going to add it to our sauce. I'll show you how to use it. Okay, so you can see I have a blonde roux. I cooked this a little bit. It's that dark yellow color. It's a blonde roux. I'm going to add it to my cream here, or my half and half. You're going to mix it in. You want to mix it in. I have it off. If you have this on, it'll end up lumpy. I'm going to put it in real quick. And I'll show you what you do here. Add this in, and then we're going to put this in like this. And we're going to mix it. You got to stir it. I have it off right now. If you have it on and it's boiling, you're going to end up with lumps. Okay? There's 2 things with roux. You want to make sure that you have the roux. You don't put it into something that's ice cold, and you don't put it into something that's boiling, because you end up with lumps. Or it'll stick to the bottom and it'll burn, especially when you're dealing with cream, half and half, or milk. I'm going to turn this up now, and I'm going to bring it up until it gets thick. This is what we call a bechamel sauce. Some people call it a white sauce. Basically, traditionally it's with nutmeg, a little bit of salt, and milk. I'm using half and half, okay? Half and half is going to make it a little bit richer. The problem with it is it can burn. With half and half, it can burn easier than it can burn with milk. So what you do is you're just going to bring this back up as soon as it comes to a simmer, and then I'm just going to put it in this bowl, and I'm going to show you. This is what we call a mother sauce, and I'm going to show you how we're going to take this sauce, and we're going to turn it into mac and cheese. And you can turn this into an Alfredo sauce, Mornay sauce. There's all kinds of different sauces that you can make out of this. It's just a basic, think of it like a basic cream sauce. It's a base. Think of it as a base. We use it in restaurants for all kinds of things. I'm stirring it. As soon as this comes to a boil, it's done. I'm not going to reduce it. I'm not really going to cook this a lot. I'm just going to bring it up. See, it's starting to boil right now. You can see the sides going. That's it. It's just about there. See how it's coming like that? That's good enough. I'm going to cook it later. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to stir it like this. I'm just going to pour it into a little bowl here, and we're going to deal with it later. Look at that. That's a beautiful sauce. And that is a cream-based sauce that we will use later. Okay, so here we go. We got our mise en place all set up here. And this is that bechamel or white cream sauce that I made. I made this with half and half. Traditionally, a bechamel is made with milk, so this is even a little bit richer. Normally a bechamel is milk, bay leaves, nutmeg, salt, and it's just a real plain white sauce that's used for lots of different things. I did this very similar, but I used half and half. All right, so it's much richer. I didn't put nutmeg in. I put garlic inside of it because we're going to be turning this into mac and cheese. So you have this all set, and you can see it's thick. I'm going to just kind of pour this now back into our bowl, and you can see you got that nice white rich sauce there, nice cream sauce. Okay. Now the problem with this is it can burn. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook this on a low heat. I have 3 cheeses I have here. I'm using, this is Swiss cheese. It's a Gruyere Swiss. It has a nice sharp flavor to it. So I'm gonna put some of this inside, all right? And then I have a nice sharp cheddar cheese. I'm gonna put some sharp cheddar in there as well, all right? I'm gonna put that inside. And then there's a little bit of Quattro. This is 4 cheeses. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that in there as well. Now I'm adding more cream. So I'm gonna add cream to it. I'm gonna thin this down, all right? I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. We're gonna taste it later again, but I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, okay? I'm gonna add a little more garlic salt to it. And I'm just gonna add a pinch of a Lowry seasoning salt, and we're gonna start to cook it, all right? So I'm gonna come over here. Now I'm gonna put it on low, because you don't wanna burn it. And then using a spoon, okay, you're gonna move it back and forth, and we're gonna slowly cook this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it up. You don't want this on high. The key with this is you gotta get it to, you gotta get it to slowly melt. We'll come back to it in 1 minute. Okay, so it's going really slow, really low right now. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of cream cheese to it. This will give it that tang. So I'm adding a little bit of cream cheese to it, all right? And now we're just gonna let this go. I have it on low, and I'm slowly gonna melt this. So the key with this is to go over about 10 minutes on low, slowly melting the cheese and everything together, and we'll check on it in 10 minutes. Okay, so now you can see, if you look at it, now it's been on low the whole time. You see there's no stringy cheese going. When I first did it, there was all that cheese and it would string. Now it's all melted. I seasoned it. I put a little cracked pepper in it, a little garlic salt, a little seasoning salt. You can season it with whatever you want. But the cheeses I put in here were cream cheese, a sharp cheddar, a Gruyere Swiss, and I put a little bit of the Quattro fromage in there, not much, but a little bit. You could do this with any cheeses. It could be a smoked Gouda, whatever you have. You can do whatever you want. We're gonna keep this here, and we're gonna make this with broccoli, and we're gonna make a breadcrumb crust that we're gonna put on top of it, and we're gonna bake it. So we'll come back and we're gonna do that next. All right, so what I've got here is I've taken the broccoli, and I have all the noodles that we cooked up, the macaroni, and we'll go over cooking pasta in class, bringing the water to a boil and cooking it. But right now it's already cooked. I got it hot. I got the broccoli in here, and what we're gonna do is just gonna slowly put this in here, and we're gonna put all this in here, and we're gonna do a baked version of this. Just let it kind of set, and we're just gonna let it come in here and slowly fill up, okay? And just kind of mix it in there really good. Slowly get it in, put some more in, all right? This is our sauce that we made. Look at that, that looks good. Kind of get it all in there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bake this in the oven. All right, we get that all there. Slowly get it all together. That looks good. Keep going. I'm gonna pour a little bit more. I'll slowly let it go into the bottom. Then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put a topping on this. All right, so now we got broccoli in here, and we have our cheese sauce, our mac and cheese sauce that we made. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our topping. And what I did here is this is breadcrumbs with melted butter, Parmesan, and herbs. And what you do is, we'll have a recipe, you'll get the recipe, but all you do is you melt the butter, you put the breadcrumbs, you put the herbs and the Parmesan, and you mix it, right? And now we're gonna put this on top of this, and this is gonna give it a crust. All right, that nice little crust. All right, I'm gonna roll that on there, just like that. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of the Quattro, just a pinch of Quattro. Quattro fromage cheese. Put a little bit of the onions on here. All right, now we're gonna bake this whole thing in the oven. All right, I'm gonna check it in 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. It just came out of the oven. You can see we got a nice crust on it. You can see the cheese, and you can see the breadcrumb crust that we wanted. So you got that nice crust. This is a baked version. I have sauce here on the side, so if you were scooping it, you can pour more on top. It's the same sauce. I didn't use it all. You do not have to bake this. You can also do a version of just tossing it in the cheese sauce and serving it. So there you go. Enjoy.